Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present on our research entitled Study on the Difficulty in Adapting Kelantanese Dialect by the Non-Native Speaker. As our introduction is to find out the difficulty of non-native speaker adapting to a Kelantanese dialect. Our background of the research: Collins 1999 mentioned that almost every Malaysian linguist born in Kelantan has written about his or her kampung dialect. They have provided valuable information about Kelantan Malay. Abdul Hamid Mahmud 1996 support this claim by saying that the Kelantanese dialect continues to gain attention with more and more studies being conducted on it. Our statement of the research: the use of Kelantanese dialect as the medium of instruction in Kelantan requires students outside of Kelantan to be proficient to adapt this new dialect. It can be more stressful when they are expected to communicate in Kelantanese dialect before the fluency is achieved. Third, the non-native speaker will show poor communicating performance because they are not competent in using the Kelantanese dialect. Fourth, each of the non-native speaker has his or her own experience in anxiety, especially in using Kelantanese dialect on their daily life. Our objective and question of the research. First, this research aims to find out the understanding of the non-native speaker in Kelantan toward Kelantanese dialect. Second, to identify the perception of the non-native speaker in Kelantan towards Kelantanese dialect. Third, to determine the percentage of using Kelantanese dialect in their daily life by the non-native speaker. This research also based on the following question. First, what are the understanding of the non-native speaker in Kelantan toward Kelantanese dialect? Second, what are the perception of the non-native speaker in Kelantan toward Kelantanese dialect? Third, what are the percentages of using Kelantanese dialect in their daily life by the non-native speaker? Our significance of the research. First, to know how the non-native speakers adapt and communicate using Kelantanese dialect when they are in Kelantan. Second, encourage the non-native speaker to use Kelantanese dialect when they are communicating with the native speaker. Third, the non-native speaker will know what and how to adapt the Kelantanese dialect. Last but not least, our limitation of the research. First, this research involved 20 students from UiTM Macam. Researchers choose them as the respondent because they are all from out of Kelantan, which is easier to investigate and distribute questionnaire. Only focus on the difficulty of non-native speaker to adapting Kelantanese dialect on students of UiTM Macam. Last but not least, conducted at your university.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so we can proceed to literature review. Okay, literature review here cover 4 things, which are the first definition of Kelantanese dialect. Okay, for definition Kelantanese dialect, the Kelantanese dialect is origins from Bahasa Melayu Indo, also known as Parent Malay. Okay, the uniqueness of the Kelantanese dialect is very evident in the use of vowels and also consonants, as it is different compared to the standard Malay language. A few of the languages and dialects are adapted from Siam. That's why Kelantanese dialect is close to Siam language. Okay, general understanding towards Kelantanese dialect. Kelantanese dialect had borrowed some words from standard Malay language and also adapted to the pronunciation of the dialect. There are many variations in a few terms such as phonological, morphological, and also lexical aspects. Okay, next, Kelantanese dialect contains some phonological similarities with the Patani Malay dialect, which is Patani located in Siam. Okay, the third one, the perception toward Kelantanese dialect. Okay, geographical position was found to be an important factor in acquiring a dialect and a second language. Okay, someone place or phrase is most important factor in adapting other dialects. For example, like for them who are from Western, so they are adapting with the Western dialect. Okay, last but not least, the percentage of using Kelantanese dialect in daily life. Okay, motivation is a main aspect, which motivation means is an incitement to cause and sustain intentions, and goal seeking as it determines the attitude toward the learning of dialect. Okay, let's we proceed to methodology.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Asilah Yasmin binti Osman. I'm going to present about the methodology. A methodology is a detailed planning that should be given emphasis to in order to assist the researcher to produce a work that could be used as a reference. A methodology will serve as a guideline and reference to the researcher in order to conduct a study in a systematic and professional way. A methodology will serve the researcher to achieve the target objective. First is the research design. We use a qualitative approach in order to identify and analyze the data. The data collected by the researchers will identify and categorize into their respective sections based on the instrument used. The researcher will analyze the collected data by making a comparison and evaluation between both genders. First is the pilot study. Pilot study is a vital step in conducting a research in quantitative method. A pilot study will act as a tool to validate the efficacy of the questionnaire used in the study. A pilot study will be conducted and the result will be used to precede the final version of the instrument. It is an essential element in order to detect flaws and improvise the questions for the final version of the questionnaire in order to obtain the precise and desired answers. For the setting and selected respondents, our respondents were students from UiTM Machang, Kelantan. We choose the place because it is near to our place and it is easier to use students. The control variables in study were the age, gender and place of origin of the respondents. The respondents were chosen from a group of students who origins from states other than Kelantan. The first is in the instrumentation. A set of questionnaire has been used as a tool in collecting the data. The questionnaire focused on the frequency of the amount of Kelantanese dialects used by the respondents in their daily life. For the procedure for data collecting and analysis, the research was conducted in certain organized order to facilitate the researchers and was done in the order mentioned below. First is the distribution of the questionnaire. The questionnaire were distributed to the selected respondents in printed form. The respondents were then given ample time to answer the given questions. The questionnaire were later recollected and to be analyzed. Second is data labeling. We isolate the data into several categories such as gender, and place of origin of the respondents. The data will then be extracted according to the topics of the questionnaire. The frequency and the amount of words from Kelantanese dialects used by the respondents will be recorded into SPSS software. Final results in percentages were later transferred into Microsoft Word. Third is analyzing data. The data were analyzed according to the planned objectives of the study. The data will be visualized in the form of pie charts, graphs and tables to make it easier to read and compare. The data were then analyzed based on the guidelines set.
Moving on to the next one, which is our discussion, based on our three main objectives. One of our things is that to find out the understanding of a non-native speaker in Kelantan towards Kelantanese dialect. You see, most of our respondents are able to understand the Kelantanese dialect because they are able to give the correct answers regarding on the meaning of the Kelantanese word itself. Secondly, to identify the perception of the non-native speaker in Kelantan towards Kelantanese dialect. Because why? You see, we can clarify that most of our respondents thinks that Kelantanese dialect is unique and hard to be learned because of their words and also pronunciation. Well, it's quite obvious, right, isn't it? Move on to the third one, which is to determine the percentage of using Kelantanese dialect in their daily life by non-native speaker. You see, based on our data that we have collected, we have proved that non-native speaker use less of Kelantanese dialect in their daily life, just like they use in their certain situation.
Okay, so before we move on to the conclusion and recommendation, let me remind you our objectives in this research. So our main objectives is to find out the understanding of the non-native speaker in Kelantan towards Kelantanese dialect. The second one is to identify the perceptions of the non-native speaker in Kelantan towards Kelantanese dialect, and the last objective is to determine the percentage of using Kelantanese dialect in their daily life by non-native speaker. So based on our research, what can we conclude is most of these non-Kelantanese can understand the Kelantanese dialect, although not fully understand, but based on the few words that were asked to them, many of them can answer it correctly. So their perceptions towards Kelantanese dialect, almost half of them agree that the other dialect is easier to understand than Kelantanese dialect. They think that Kelantanese dialect have more modified words than the other dialects, and they too think that Kelantanese dialect is very unique. So they also think that Kelantanese dialect are hard to master compared to others. That's why they choose to not use Kelantanese dialect, but choose to use standard Malay rather than Kelantan dialect itself in their daily conversation. So, what can you do to improve your to boost your language abilities and understand more on Kelantanese dialect? These activities can help you. The first one is watch TV shows or movies that use Kelantanese dialect. Usually there are many movies out there that use Kelantanese dialect, such as Bunuhan, Sorok Bau Budu, Police Ibo, and many more. Besides that, while watching the TV shows, you can read the subtitle. You can read the subtitle to understand more on Kelantanese dialect. The next activities is converse with the native speakers. When you go to somewhere, speak to the local people so they can help you to understand more on their language.
Dari mana lagi bang? Back bawah.
Tadi balik kenduri ni, pergi kenduri dekat rumah Pak Meon.
Oh, ramai orang.
Ramai orang datang, tu berpeluh-peluh tadi, belecak.
Oh, hari panas demi ni dok.
Tu lah, panas betul ni. Pukul 11 meledak tadi, tapi ni nak pukul 1 dah, aku nak balik dah ni.
Oh, memang nak balik dah hari nya.
Balik dah ni.
Memang pergi rumah Pomek Rudul.
Tu.
Oh,
Anak dia nombor 3 ke nombor 2 kalau tak silap.
Kau dah anak dia dah.
Lawan mana?
Orang Kelantan kat silap aku pun tak ingat. Tapi dia situ lah.
Oh,
Jam berlawal, ada jam berlawal.
Ada dengan cerita orang ni, tapi tak gitu lah. Kau dapat kak kau jaga
Dia ajak orang tertentu je tu. Sebab aku jangan penting kampung ni kan. So dia ajak aku.
Oh, penting tu.
Kau lemah tak ganti ni.
Boleh lah. Aku boleh semua dah boleh.
Tadi gimana?
Ni nak
Apa ni?
nak angkat nikah rumah orang sebelah tu pula, orang kampung sebelah. Banyak kerja ni tu lah.
Patut kali tak kerja kat tu.
Aku ada kerja.
Oh, sembel dah ada bijak kan. Dah ada kalau ada kerja tak?
Okey.
Memang kat rumah lah.
Bagi.
Molek bawa kereta mana tu.
Apa eh?
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Kawan-kawan, cuma petang ni keluar ke mana-mana, bosan lah di sini. Aku kereta aku ada apa lagi. Rumah.
Ni, hang nak cakap kat apa-apa. Lalu ni ada apa je. Ni, dekat Maidin tu apa tak nak pin tau.
Pergilah mana-mana. Tak payahlah pergi Medan lah apa. Pergi air pantai ke. Pergi sightseeing tengok.
Macam best je, tapi saya belum nampak dah.
Alah, saya nanti boleh buat.
Judi esok.
Esok kau video tu.
Ha?
Ni yang macam ni. Aku buat tempat pot baiknya. Jom.
Mana?
Raya.
Ha?
Raya.
Kalau aku maki kau jangan tanya kenapa. Jaya dengan Maggie tu tak ada beza kot. Dua-dua tempat orang shopping barang dapur. Ya ke? Bukannya mall kot.
Cari dengan sikit sepi kot. Come on lah.
Weh.
Alah kau.
Weh,
Oi, Minggu.
Memang tu.
Awak gini duduk saja.
Oh.
Awak gini nak ajak budak-budak itu big tapi kak. Tak ada big pula
Oh, apa tu stupid panas-panas gini.
Itu of Dodi Organo.
Oh, tu aja. Aku pun banyak lagi muka SMA tak jalan lagi.
Belum
Oh,
okey. Kawan pun sama tempoh lah ni.
Oh.
Tinggal saya tu tak penting.
Mana? Tak kelik ah.
Awak nak kelik tu. Kau ajaknya api kak.
Oh, kelik kat rumah penjar Pelik. Oh, kelik ah.
Tu nak masuk.
Oh. Dah kan dia esok ni sebab kita ada dua presentation esok ni. Kita ada dua betul esok. Jadi kita nak bincang foundation dulu. Rasa baik kok kita bincang foundation dulu. Muka dia pukul belah kan. Betul kan tu?
Pas abang rasa gitu kok.
Oh, tu kan.
Mula waktu dulu lah.
Kawan sedap kita lagu tu juga. Dekat kawan ni tak buat apa satu lagi ni slide apa ni.
Nak bawa beli esok.
Tu lah kalau ikut yang dia suruh dia banyak lah kan. Tapi nak cari kita tak ada masa. Sebab lo ni dia lah cuti jual tak. Tak tahu benda buka benda mana buka. Jadi gini tau. Kita suruh kita buat slide dulu. Kita buat slide dulu. Lepas tu kita baca slide kita tu baru kita fikir balik buat gelak-gelak.
Kau tak buat lagi kau slide.
Kau tak buat apa lagi.
Kawan kan dia ingat yang buat belakang dah.
Abang tak tahu benda
Dia
dah buat.
orang habuk lagi.
Wah. Dua tak apa kita fikir balik kita fikir mula dah. Yang penting sekali kalau kita nak tahu je tak kaya kita esok kan. Sebab media saya ni sekali je esok.
Mego boleh tak mego?
Nego. Ada je
Apa
memang.
nak aduk je mego.
Abang tak tahu
Oh, ikan.
Teh orang dah teh.
Oh,
Abang putih, abang putih.
Kita.
Putih aja abang.
Lagi dia duduk time hitam putih lah. Duduk time hitam putih. Duduk kalau kita pakai baju semua hitam baju putih gitu. Biar dapat sama sikit lah.
Boleh tak betul?
Ada.
Boleh kan?
Boleh.
Jadi dia esok yang kita belum buat dulu ni, kita buat slide dulu mana tu. Mana kali semula dah.
Masih slide tu mana-mana.
Pada ada 7 bulan lah.
Tapi ingat dah, Pak sama apa dah? Mak masing-masing.
Okey dah.
Tengok masak.
Apa kalau ada dua tak payah, tengok bola masak. Kalau kita ada guru kan.
Tak ada guru. Okey, okey tak om.
Dan kita payah lagi dah ada. Kita buat tipu ya dah. Sebab esok petang esok ada usaha lagi.
Bukan bulan macam tu.
Esok petang esok kumpul.
Lemon ni.
Apa tahu?
Cemburi.
Lemon
Lemon
kan
kan
ada
macam
cuti. Okey. Cuti ke? Abang itu je.
Kau lemon tak gilah ni.
Cuti ke?
Apa lah?
Esok kita ada dua. Pagi sop, esok.
Petang tu fofo.
Betul tu fofo, media salira. Pagi tu media sali.
Betul mau pergi betul. Kena
Tak boleh guess tu. Kita nak present kat ni.
Oh.
Apa lah kita fokus kepada saya dulu. Waktu petang esok tu kita tengok gana-gana sebab tak silap. Itu alhamdulillah sebab petang esok tu rasa bukan grup kita lagi kali ikut term sebab kita yang ke-8.
Oh lah.
Dia ada 10 grup semua kali. Rasa tak ada yang esok.
Tengok di kadang-kadang kita repair lah.
Dah beres begitu. Kapan-kapan lagi balik bilik buat slide masih mula kena-kena eh. Makan je. Jom. Okey, jom.
Dah mai siap tu. Siap.
Siap. Dah. Okey. Bawa bilik.
Apa?